Hello people of the Imperium, and welcome back to part number 2 of the Let's Build and Paint Space Marine Terminator Close Combat Squad. Now in the last episode, we put them all together, including all the other ones. I'm showing you guys this guy, just to show you that they have been all primed with that army painter. And this is the second time that I've used it. The second time with the proper respirator wasn't that bad. I have no cough today or anything like that, so I'd call that a win. So basically what I'm going to go do is, because I forgot to get macragge blue, I've actually found an extremely close. Okay. So this is macragge blue. As you can see, this is the normal one. I've actually found that the Model Air I might need to test this a little bit first. I didn't realize it was the metallic line. These guys might just be a little bit more shinier than the rest. But you can see this is macragge blue. Yeah, it does have a little shine to it. Huh. But you can see how close they are. Like, they're really close. I didn't realize this was the metallic. Try it out on a little piece of cardboard first, or else I will be trying to thin this down in the paintbrush, which shouldn't be too bad, I don't think. I hope. I've never done it properly before, so I'll find out. So I will let you guys know about which one I ended up going with after this. And you will also see this guy fully base coated in one of these two blues. So be back in a minute. I'm back with all of the base coat on these guys done, as you can see here. And I did that with macragge blue. As you can see here, this is actually, I got the newest Paint Citadel box. This new Citadel paint box, I should say. Holds all my paint. And then these are all the colors that I will be most likely going through throughout this video here. So I'm going to put this guy aside, as he's just base coated. As you can see here, I have gone ahead and done the little camera up here with ledbelcher, as well as the back vents here with ledbelcher. also working on all the arms. This wire here and the power claws here. As you can see. And of course, the power hammers. But in the shields. But the thing is that when I was in the last time I was there, I actually really overheard that when you're thinning Citadel paints down, to make it like melted ice cream, where the pigment will stick and extremely slowly slide down. So, really quickly here, I'm going to show you guys how I've been painting. You can see this guy's just base coated. And I did use my airbrush for all the base coating. Forgot about one side there, but I'll do that later. So let me grab my ledbelcher and shake it up here. I'll grab my small airbrush. Put a little bit of water on it. And we're going to base coat all of this. All along here, this power cord here. And we're going to do the claws, or the fist here. Up to, there's little cables that kind of attach it on the sides. So we're not going to worry about those, because we're going to be doing those in a different color entirely. But you can see it does not take too long to do this, so you guys get the idea. Now the hammer actually has several different colors on it, but I am just going to start layering it in the ledbelcher, including the wings. But I'm not overly concerned about them, as I will be painting that area a totally different color. So I'm going to go all the way around. Going to do this power cord right here. Just like that. And also going to do this little connector piece. And now for the shield, we're just going to do this cord here, and also wherever the fist isn't on the back here, where the handle is. And then again, for these guys, the whole camera area like that. And then these massive vents on the back. Actually, if you look at them on the Citadel web or the Games Workshop website, they've actually gone ahead and painted this little back piece as well. So you guys get the idea there. So I'm going to finish up doing all the base coating on all of these guys. And then I'll bring you guys back once that's all finished. Okay, so now that all the ledbelcher is done, all of them, now's the fun part. Now is the time where we will take our ledbelcher and put it. Yeah, grab out our Nuln oil. Give it a good shake. Now, of course, if you made a huge mess of the ledbelcher, you can always go back with macragge blue. Just clean it up. So now's the time where I'm going to use my small airbrush that I was just using for that. And let me grab my palette here. I'm just going to grab quite a bit of it onto my palette here. So we're just going to do it into all the recesses. And over all the ledbelcher. Then I'm also going to put it over all the detail. Just into all the recesses. So you guys get the idea there. I'm going to do that over all these guys. On the shield here, let me think about the shield a little bit more here. But we'll need to do it into the recess. Right along that little bit there. And there's also a recess right around there. Over all the ledbelcher. So you guys got the idea at this point. So I'm going to go do all that, and then I'll bring you guys back once that is completed. Let me get on my other light here. But I have gone ahead and done all the Nuln oil on all these guys. You can really tell with the backpacks. Now is the fun part where I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to be going right now. I'm thinking I'm going to do a little bit of overbrushing. Grab a nice easy piece here. So you guys can barely see, there's the skull here. What I'm going to do is, because we're doing a lot of blues and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to take some earthen gray here. I'm going to mix it up. Should be nice and mixed now. because you want it to be a little bit thicker. And with what seems to be my favorite brush right now, my small layer brush. Actually, I should show you guys something. Anyways, so what you want to do, take a bit of paint, make sure it's kind of even on both sides, make it a little bit flat. That's very important. Then all we're going to do is just drag it up. And look at the difference. Look at the difference. Oh my gosh, let me do that again. That was so easy. Again, a little bit of over brushing. Okay, this one might need to do alright, so as well as for all of them, this power cable right here. You can see how it kind of has this spot right along here. That I'm going to actually do gold as well. That have this plate looking thing here. Now on the other hammer here, the only difference will be is we will base coat these all in the gold on both sides, underneath, but not on top. We're going to leave the top like it is. We're also going to do the skull that's right here. And again, this section, the wires, and yeah, you guys get it. Oh, and this shield is the only shield that will get a little bit of gold. See here, let me base coat a little bit better. There we go. So you can see we'll do that all the way around. So that's what we want to base coat with the gold, is those types of areas. Also going to use Caliban green here, and on to the power claws, there's a green, there's a reef around, So you can see that little bit of green just around this white part here. I'm going to do that to both of them. So I'm going to quickly do those, and then I'll bring you guys back once those are all finished here. So as you can see, we have what is known as a very flat gold color here. That doesn't really show off the details very well, all that stuff. So let me reach over to my paints here. And we're going to use Agerland Blush Shade. And guess what we're using again? My small airbrush. I guess I really should have put my painting mat down first. But you guys can see. There. Let me make sure. It's not really, you can't really see many details or anything like that. Now you can start to see more of the details, and it's made the gold a little bit warmer tone. So we're going to go over all the gold with the Agerland Blush Shade. Kind of adds a very dark orange hint to it. Like you can see there. It just really warms it up, and it only takes a minute or two to do this. Like, especially with this, it will help a ton. Now you can see the feathers a lot better. And it just adds a little bit nicer of a tone to it. You can see already how good that looks. I'm not going to touch that skull. Holy cow. Okay, I'm not even touching that skull anymore. Wow. I didn't realize that I actually didn't go all the way up, and it's created this fantastic shading effect. Where it's gold here, but it gets lighter. Oh, man. There we go. There's one hammer done. And then after this, I am going to really quickly change over, and we'll do some of the purity seals. We'll get those base coated. So now we're going to start to base coat the purity seals. So we're going to start off with Rockhearth Flesh. And I'm just going to make sure. Yeah, that sounds good. So I'm going to use Mephiston Red. I'm going to make them a scarlet color, which will bring them out a little bit more. All the purity seals. That will be the base coat for the wax. And Rockhearth Flesh for the rest, the paper. Which, if you guys know, I use a lot of this paint. I use a lot of it. For my bugs. So what I'm just gonna do Just base coat the purity seal there. Now, depending on what unit you're doing, there's about 1,000 different names for these. Like the oaths or purity seals, so I just mostly go with purity seal. Yes. Remember to check the shoulders. Even though off the top of my head I do not remember seeing any. Okay, that should be everything. So my piston red will go away now. Now, even without changing the brush at all, I'm going to go right into rock earth flesh, because I know it's a very thin paint. You'll probably have to do 2 coats. But we'll do 1 coat, let it dry. Now I'm going to go back to the hammers and base coat the handle of them. I'm going to be using Doomball Brown for them, which is a layer paint, but it's a tiny bit thicker than normal. No, this is good. Just be careful when you get to the hands. There we go. There we go. You know what? Out of all that, I totally forgot about one other thing. I'm going to go Nuln oil really quickly here. And just go over all the green quickly. I'm going to take probably I'm gonna stick with the artificer brush. Only because it is gonna be like a 2-second job. There we go. That's it. I'll be back in a couple minutes. Alright, I'm just going to start doing some of the edge highlighting with calgar blue. Now I have a really Artist Loft 0 brush here. And I've just thinned down the color. And I'm just using the edges, the very strong edges here, to my advantage. For the legs, I'm just going to do little bits in areas that would kind of catch the light here. Now, if you look online at these guys, they really did over highlight them, I think. As they usually do, but you guys do as much or as little highlighting as you guys want. I'm going to continue on doing this throughout the model here, and I'll bring you guys back and we'll do the shades for the purity seals. The purity seals and the hammer. So, be back in a minute. And one other thing is that you do not want to push down on your brush. That I forgot to mention. You do not want to push down on your brush. You just want to let the paintbrush just touch it. But as you can see, I'm making him look really good right now. I'm actually just about done highlighting this guy, so. There we go. One down. A lot more pieces to go. So see you guys in a little bit. So I have finished all of the first edge highlights. As you can see, it really brings it out. Now what I need to do is the second edge highlight, or the I'm just going to do 2 edge highlights on this guy. So I'm just going to choose out the sharpest corners, such as the corner right here. Get on my second light, there we go. The corner here. Maybe a couple little dots. And I'm going to use Hothin blue for that. But that's easy stuff. For all the paper that we've done on the purity seals, we're actually going to use Agerland's Earthshade. In the same exact manner as we've done 1,000 times already. And then for the red, we're going to use Kurtzberg Crimson, or however you say it. So, I'm going to go ahead, and when you're edge highlighting, don't forget to do the rivets. Make them stand out just that little bit more. So I'm going to do those, and I'm going to do the edge highlights in the exact same way, only focusing on the sharpest areas. And then I'll bring you guys back in we'll probably work on the end. Almost forgot about this. I'm going to go back to Nuln oil and put it onto the handles of the hammers, power hammers here. So I'm going to go ahead and do all that stuff, and I'll bring you guys back to do the next step in a minute here. So sorry about the noise. I'm currently cleaning my airbrush and the ultrasonic cleaner right now. So as you guys can see, I have done the edge, that very fine edge highlight, just to bring out the corners a little bit more. So now for the silvers, or for the part that we did the iron breaker and ledbelcher on, for areas like this, I can dry brush it. For the dry brushing, I'll use the dry paint necron compound, which as you guys can see, it's not moving. It's just pretty well pure pigment with a tiny bit of medium in it. For the gold, don't actually have it right here. I'm going to use either ceramite dry or Ariuc armour gold, and then I want an extreme edge highlight, slash if I need to highlight anything without a dry brush for this one, I'm going to use stormhost silver, which is a normal paint. It's a very nice shiny silver. You know what? I'm gonna grab my warpstone glow color here. Couple more seconds of the noise here. Brand new paint, gotta love it. I'm actually going to grab my extra small artificer brush. Just going to wet it a little bit. Just to get the nice point on it. And I'm basically just going to go in here. There we go. So really hard to see, but it really makes it stand out really nicely. Which, if you want to see a better video of that, wait until the next video series here for Warhammer. So we will have a very, very powerful leader coming by to be painted and built. Do I have him right here? Oh, I do have him right here, right beside me. Yeah, he's gonna be our next mini project before we go ahead and do the absolutely massive project of a Titan. Not of a 4th World Titan. It's just one of the plastic ones. That's about 10 or so inches tall, kind of deal. So but we'll find out when we build them for sure. Magnetized. So you want to know what? I'm going to do some dry brushing right now. Now I'm not going to use my good dry brush right now. I'm not going to use this one. It's this one for very detail areas slash maybe want to use that one with retributer. But as you can see, this is my old one. As you can see, I've used it a ton. And that's another thing about airbrushes. They will save your normal brushes a lot more. Right? Bloody H, that was hard to do. But as you can see, this one still has all the swirl and all that stuff in it. Basically what I'm going to do is shove it in, grab a bunch, use my paper towel, work it in till I got something like that. Now all that it is just going around, just lightly going over everything. There we go. For the wires here, so it's just little things. Just catch the edges of everything and make it all stand out, making it all look beautiful. Now for these, I'm going to just paint by hand with the wires coming off to the side here. Can easily be dry brushed. I guess even those pipe things also work well. So you can see this only takes all of 30 seconds to do. Hence why, if you're going to get a dry brush, this is exactly why don't want to spend a ton on just a dry brush. Just that dry brush. It's not going to last you forever, but it's a very handy tool to have in your toolbox. So I am just going to finish up all of this dry brushing and layering stuff, and then I'll bring you guys back once I am finished all that. So I'll see you guys in a little bit here. Okay, so I've completed the silvers. I mean the golds and the silvers now. Most of them. Now is the time to do camera lenses. And also going to start working on the heads as well. So we will need ledbelcher out again, or no, what? No. Let me look at the box. Alright, now because of the way that I have done these guys, you can really see each panel really well. So I'm actually not going to use shade. All that I'm going to do is I'm going to use stormhost silver. And my extra small artificer brush. And we don't need much. We're just doing camera lenses. And yes, I did go ahead and write Kills Xenos Scum on here, or KXS. Gonna worry about these in a minute here. But we are getting really close to being finished. Now, I know this may sound really weird, but we're also going to be putting it where we're going to be putting the gem colors. So that includes up here on both sides. Or else that the gem color just won't show very well. And what I will do is do an overbrush. Well, you know what? Because of the way it's highlighted, I'm actually going to leave it like this. Leave those parts. So that means the hammers, the shields, most of the stuff is already completed at this point. We're just working on the very fine details. So you can see I'm just kind of doing an overbrush. For the front little bits. Then for the eyes, just being really careful. You know what? I'm actually going to grab my even finer detail brush, because we are working with areas that are extremely small. I know that it's really hard for you guys to see. But now I've got to go find a head, so I will be back once I find it here. Oh wait, I found it. Now with this one, but you can still see all that little detail in there. There we go. Now I have to wait a little bit before I use some of my Tianmin clear paints. So what I'm going to do, actually pull up something on my reference thing here. So now I'm going to use Evil Sun Scarlet. Shake it up really well as it's a brand new paint. Basically all I'm going to do is just go over the very edge of the wax. Just going to leave those dark centers there. I'm just going to clean my brush here. Now, if you ever need to clean up or anything like that, you can always go back to whatever the previous color was before. But I'm making these guys look a little bit rough and tough and all that stuff. So I'm just going to use a little bit of Pallid Witch blush. Hold on. Not all the cameras are done yet. And you guys have actually seen most of the painting done on camera here. Wait, there should be one more. 2, 4. So now I'm going to use Pallid Witch blush for the paper. But I'm just going to leave the dark areas alone. I'll be back in a minute or two here. So, I'm back after waiting for everything to dry here a little bit. Actually, I need one more paint still. Thank you. So what I'm going to do is, by using Wild Rider Red, just going to shake it up since it is a brand new paint. It is a extremely vibrant red. Extremely vibrant. So I'm just going to use my artificer brush here. All that I'm going to do is take a little dot of it and put it in a couple little places. I'm just literally just touching the paintbrush to the purity seal. Now that those are all done, except for a optional part, an optional section here that you can do if you want to, and that is to take some, usually you would use Run Oxide. I just have Doomball Brown, and pretty well all that you're wanting to do. Just take a little bit of it. And just make some squiggly lines. Just to make it look like writing. As you guys can see, it only takes a little bit of time to create just what looks like writing on it. So you can see it's pretty good. And I forgot about the captains or the sergeants or there we go. That's all it is. Just gonna put these paints away as we. Oh wait. We forgot to do one little thing. Just do a little bit of pallid witch white scar, I should say. Just as an edge highlight. Just on the corners. Just to sharpen those corners up and just make it a little bit more realistic. There we go. That's all it is. Now we will do all the eyes and camera lenses that we have. So we're going to be using Tamiya, clear red, X27, and X25, clear green. Now, because they are not the usual paints that we use, they do not clean off well with water. So what I'm going to do is, in my palette here, just going to put in a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. Just to help clean off the brushes, or the brush. See? Isopropyl rubbing alcohol, 7%. Don't think it even costs all that much, so. I'm going to be using my really small model maker, Model Master 3.0 or 3.0 or however you want to say it. I'm going to be starting with the red. By the way, I should show you guys this. A little while ago, I was in one of my bigger hobby stores, and they actually happen to have these. This comes as a pack together. It's from Mr. Hobby. And what it is, works great for Tamiya paints as well, is an opener. So if you ever have a paint that's really stuck together, it has two different sizes. Number 1, number 2, but the number 2 doesn't really fit on very well, so it's number 1s. And it just gives you so much more leverage. So, all that I am going to do is just put a dot over each area that needs to be red. You can see how easy that is. And because it is basically a glossy red, you do not even need to worry about where you're viewing it from, because the light will create the highlights on it for you. So some of them I'm going to do the bottom camera. As red. just going to leave because I did not even. Some of them. I'm going to do the top lens as red. So I'm just alternating between the two. There we go. Now we've got the heads here. So that all the eyes will be red. And it's really just that simple to do an eye with this. I've been using this technique to do the eyes. Since I have started. As you see, it really does make a really nice deep red eyes. And it's also repeatable. So that I can literally be painting these marines all day. And they're going to come out exactly this way every single time. So now I'm just going to close this up. Take it out of there. Because I cannot open up the green one. Oh, I was really stuck on. Now I'm going to do the clear green in the exact same way. Bam, done. Again, the alcohol just eliminates it. So that just shows you Tamiya paints are alcohol based. So we have one of two directions that we can go right now. To get to the same result either way. Either you can do the basing first and then glue on the pieces, or you can glue on the pieces then do the basing. I'm gonna super glue stuff on. Super glue, best stuff out there ever. As you can tell, I use this a ton. So I'm going to show you guys with my sergeant here. How I will do each and every single piece. So, first off, what I'm going to do, put a little bit of super glue right there. Now remember, if it gets onto you and you let it dry, it will stick fingers together. This one I'm going to have a little bit less of a dramatic inclination on them. So then same deal. There we go. Now for the head. Set to put a bit inside of there. Sometimes it takes a couple of tries. But remember, super glue does not strip away paint. See how he's already looking really good there. day. Now I want to put just a little bit of super glue. Right onto here, into the nub there. There you go. Now if you had some cornstarch, you could always put a little bit on it and it would dry instantly. Now for this other piece, jeez Louise, this is... Son of a gun, no, don't. There we go. I'm going to do that to all of them, and then I'll bring you guys back once that's done. Okay, so now the squad is completely put together now. As you guys can see there. Now is the time to work on the base a little bit first before we do decals on each of their shoulders and on their knee pads as well. So because they are part of the ultramarines, I do not have any. Wait, hold on. So I have my Primaris Marine Captain right here. You can see how there's 3 different bases on them. So this part, there's 2 and there's 3. So the first step always, well, for my Ultramarines, is going to be using the Agerland Earth. Not Bandland, Earth. There's a difference. As you can see, it's a very smooth paint, but it does have some crackle mixture in it. All that I'm trying to do is just cover the base. there. There we go. There's one done. There we go. 2. Whenever you run out of some at the top, just shake it up. Oh, that a whole fresh flow right there. 3. You guys can kind of see how easy this is. 4. And no, you do not need this special tool. You can literally use a brush. As this is water-based still. There we go. There's all 5 done. Now, unfortunately, is a great time to start cleaning up, as you have quite a long time to wait for this paint to dry. So, I'll see you guys when it's dry here. Alright, so as you can see, the paint has completely dried. I just waited overnight for it to dry. So now, what we are going to do is going to pull out the same tool that we used before. This time, we're doing Agerland Bandlands. Shake it up a little bit more here. We don't need much of it, so I'm going to use this end of it. And I'm just putting it on the first little bit here. 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. All of them are done. For that. Now, again, it is a matter of waiting. So I'll be back once it has decided to harden up. So I'll see you guys in a little bit here. I'm coming to you from the far future, where I'm editing the video that you're currently watching, and I realized, well, I only realized one thing. Then I realized that there was 2 things. First off, for the bases here, I did the Agerland bandland near the front to tie into my Terminator, and this is just dry brushed with a little bit of tyrant skull, which is, I believe, Ushabity bone off the top of my head, kind of that area, if you don't have it. And then I put these little, this is actually supposed to be like bushes for like model trains and stuff like that. So, and then I was looking around. These are still blue. The joints are still blue. Guess what we're doing? We're gonna paint that that part with a little bit of black first. Any black will do. You could use Abaddon or Abaddon black, however you say it, whichever way you want to say it. I don't really care. But I recommend, if you ever get an opportunity to pick up a Vallejo black, I highly recommend it. Great coverage. And it comes in a dropper. Just like that. So I'm going to do that to all of them here really quickly, and then I'll show you guys how to highlight it really quickly. See, it is in the future. They are complete. They were completed until I notice that. So be back in a second. Okay, so now I want to take a little bit of black gray, which you can easily make with gray, like Mechanicus standard gray or something like that, mixed with the black a little bit. I'm just going to go over the raised areas just like that. And then afterwards we'll add in a little bit more white and only do just a little bit of it. So I'll show you those results here in just a couple minutes here. So as you guys can see, all of those highlights are done. So now the painting is done. So what I'm going to do is I want to end this part here before we do those decals here, because it'll take a bit for me to explain it. So if you're new here and you liked what you've seen, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And if you aren't new here and you're one of the veterans here and you've liked what you've seen, hit that like button to let me know to continue on with what I'm doing. And in the next episode, I'll show you guys how I do the decals. Don't mind this big cat right here. Darn tables. So again, I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and until next time, remember to rock on.